Okay, spoiler alert. This lens is really, really good. This is Sirui new 35mm f1.4 Aurora, a full-frame autofocusing lens for Sony E, Nikon Z, Fuji X and L-mount cameras. I've been testing the L-mount version, so all the samples you see in this video were shot with this Lumix S1II. This is a second lens in the Aurora series. First there was 85mm f1.4 and now we have this. They have improved a lot of things since the 85mm came out. It was a good lens, but this 35mm is much better. This lens had been sent to me by Sirui and I can keep it, but they had no input on anything you see here and I didn't have to show this video to them for approval before posting it here. I have shot a lot of 35mm lenses over the years and this one really stands out to me. In this video I am talking about the image quality it delivers, how it performs when filming with it, about its build quality, price and value for money, and who and what it is suitable for. In the end I'll give you my final thoughts and I'll tell you why I like it so much. So let's do this. Performance. This lens in my opinion is almost as good as Sigma 35mm f1.4 DNR in the real world situations, but it is much cheaper and lighter than Sigma. It delivers really sharp results even wide open, sharp where it matters. There's a very small amount of softness around the edges or in the corners wide open, but when would anyone place main focus right in the corner of the frame? The wide aperture here is for subject to background separation and low light usability, and that's what you get. Overall, the color and contrast is really good. Very little chromatic aberration visible too. A little and nothing that can be easily fixed in post. It is a lens that it is very easy to shoot with and very easy to achieve really good looking results with. 35mm focal length is suitable for environmental portrait when you want to show a little bit more surrounding around your subject. It also classifies into standard focal length category, close to what we see with the naked eye, and that makes it also very suitable for everything from street photography, landscape to close-ups. Minimum focusing distance is 35cm, standard and good enough for getting close to your subject for capturing good-looking close-ups and more of that bokeh. Autofocus works really well. I've heard from others using this lens that it is slower than it should be, but I've experienced zero issues with it on Lumix S1II. Snappy, accurate, and eye tracking works great too, way above average for sure. Right now 35mm is my favorite focal length, as in my opinion it is more versatile than 24 or even 50mm lenses. Everything you see on this channel, every time I film myself I do it with 35mm. It is also #1 lens choice when I just want to shoot for me, for fun. This one, from the first photo I have taken with it, has really surprised me in a good way. The images shot with it look great. Optically it is very solid and a lens that is very hard to really criticize. Video, not a surprise, especially that it is Sirui lens. It works great when filming with it. Autofocus is almost silent and it works accurately. Tracking works well, no problems. It can deliver a really good cinematic looking video. Lens has got no optical stabilization built in, but it works superbly with camera's IBIS. There's quite a bit of focus breathing visible, rather standard with a lens in this class. Built very similar externally to the previous Aurora lens, the 85mm. They have toned down the fonts on the lens a little bit. 85mm looked a little bit messy with multiple fonts and big size lettering. This is looking so much better now. All metal construction, tough plastic externally. It has got dust and splash resistant sealing. There's standard AF/MF switch and focus hold button, manual aperture ring with click declick switch, and also, unlike on the 85mm lens, there's iris lock switch. This is very useful as you can lock the aperture ring in or out of A mode. So the aperture can be controlled by the camera or the lens without the risk of accidentally switching from one mode to the other, like with most of other lenses with manual aperture ring. It's also pretty light for 35mm f1.4, only 490 gram. Focus ring is very smooth, 360-degree rotation angle. It's a little bit loose for my liking. It could have slightly more resistance, but it is what it is. It is okay. There's USB-C socket at the mount for connecting it to the computer and installing future firmware updates. Filter thread is 62mm and it comes with solid plastic lens hood and a really nice padded soft case. Price and value for money for 35mm f1.4 lens working this well, pretty well priced. £549 here in the UK or $549 in US. Sony or Nikon users have few other options available, but for Lumix there's only one other f1.4 35mm out there, the Sigma. The Sigma is probably a marginally better lens overall, but it is also much heavier and more expensive. This price makes it accessible to more people. Specialist f1.4 lenses used to be very expensive and only for pros making a lot of money. This is a lens that delivers really good results overall, very good low light performer, good looking bokeh and great value for money when you need that standard versatile prime in your kit without spending a fortune. This is great lens choice for someone new to primes as it is not limiting as much as 24 or 85mm. You can still easily use it indoors and it is a good focal length for portraits, street photography, landscape architecture, close-ups and more. Also, I think it is a perfect focal length for filming talking head type videos like this. Conclusion, I really like this lens. Very fast, it became my favorite 35mm on Lumix S1II or Lumix S1R2. There's just something really nice about it. Not only how it feels when shooting with it, but obviously the quality it delivers. It has some really little optical issues like small amount of vignetting or chromatic aberration wide open, but none of this is that important to most of people and both easy to fix in post. The softness around the edges wide open is not relevant at all either, unless you intend to shoot some weird looking compositions when the 100% sharpness at the corners is very important to you, that this might not be lens for you. You'd close the aperture a little bit anyway for that. In real world situations, this lens performs way above average and I dare to say that it is good enough for most of professional shooting scenarios. Affordable alternative that could potentially be your best prime for everything you shoot. Check it out if you can. Highly recommend it, especially if you are a Lumix L-mount camera user. And this is it from me. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.